Welcome back to my shop. This was a very spontaneous build after watching the movie Vaiana, which in English seems to be called Moana. My son was really impressed with Maui's hook. And so we went on the internet, and on YouTube we found Marc Spagnuolo's The Wood Whisperer's video about making that hook, and I thought we'll give it a try and see if we can make it. And it was very satisfying to experience that I can make this piece just with hand tools or simple power tools. I just used a jigsaw and mainly a rasp and some sandpaper and some files to give this thing its shape. And it was the first time that I used a rasp to really shape the wood in three-dimensional ways. And it was also very satisfying to experience that transition from using the rasp, which leaves the wood very rough and coarse, and then using a file and a finer file and some sandpaper, and then you end up with a very soft and smooth surface. That's the first time that I've done that, and I really enjoyed it. I spent a couple of hours rasping and filing and sanding, but it was worth it. It was really interesting and was a lot of fun. What I learned is that it was not so easy to get the lacquer on, because my son used a regular felt pen to draw these lines, and I hadn't thought of the fact that the felt pen was water soluble, and then I used a water-based lacquer. And so when I sprayed on the lacquer and I put on the hook in this orientation, some of the lacquer very slightly flowed down the hook, and it took some of the color of the lines with it, so they are a bit leaked in some places. It doesn't really matter because it makes the hook look a bit worn and old, but it's something I hadn't considered when I made this. So if you ever want to rebuild this, make sure that you use a pen that is not water soluble or not soluble in the stuff that the lacquer uses as a solutant. That's probably the word. Another thing that I underestimated was getting that rope across around the handle. I had got 4 meters of rope. I had thought it would be plenty, but actually when I was halfway through, I was out of rope. So I had to run and get some more rope, and at the end I used about 8 meters of rope around this piece. And I hadn't really expected to use that much, to be honest. And I found it difficult to get that orientation of the rope as it is in the movie and as it is in Marc Spagnuolo's version. I couldn't get it to change direction, so in my hook it's just in the same direction. I think it doesn't really matter, but maybe you want to try getting the rope around before putting on the glue, because I had already put on the glue, so there was no way of doing it a different way. By the way, Marc Spagnuolo uses hot glue. I just used regular wood glue, and that seems to work fine. The most important thing about this build is when you build a toy for your child, the most satisfying moment is to actually give them the toy and to see the joy in their eyes. And well, this was just an amazing thing. I spent a day and a half in the workshop, and my son is now a happy little Maui. So I hope you enjoyed this build too and found the video interesting. Thanks a lot for watching. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you check out the European Woodworking Community, something that we launched a couple of weeks ago. It's for woodworkers from Europe who share their work on the web, and it's hopefully a place where we can share ideas and make each other known to a wider audience and to each other. And if you haven't checked it out, I'll leave a link in the description, and maybe it's a place for you as well. I hope you enjoyed this build. Thanks a lot for watching once again, and I hope to see you back soon. As always, remember to watch, learn, and then make something.